So you were saying in the beginning, I wanted to circle back to that. Sabi niyo po na hindi din pinakita po ito sa media at ginawang live or accessible dahil nga po boring. Pero yung balita po namin, Kong Jinky, nagkaroon po ng tensyon. Can you tell us more about that?
Siguro naman it is better described by disagreement rather than tension, no? Sapagkat we have to understand, Pinky, na this is an adversarial proceeding, no? The position of the prosecution is completely opposite to the position of the defense and therefore anticipated yung maraming disagreements, not necessarily tensions, in the proceeding. As a matter of fact, makikita din natin ito during the trial. Ang sabi ko nga, Pinky, magtaka tayo if the position of the prosecution and the defense is uniform, no? Sapagkat adversarial to. We are alleging commission of offenses while the other one is claiming innocence of the respondent. Totally opposite. And this disagreement will definitely extend up to the conclusion of our impeachment trial.
Did
no?
it happen,
But,
Congresswoman, that the disagreements nagkaroon po ng pagtataas ng mga boses?
well, hindi naman siguro pagtataas ng boses yun. Siguro ay naging passionate lang ang mga parties in explaining their point. And again, that is very natural in all adversarial proceedings, no?
And that was between who? Because meron pong lumabas na isang tweet, I think, that it was between you and Attorney Sheila Huba.
No, not necessarily, no? I would charge the exchange of arguments as merely maintaining our respective positions, mine for the prosecution and hers for the defense, no? But I do not describe it as tension. It is merely disagreement and opposite position and keeping our respective grounds. Ako in the prosecution at siya doon sa defense.
Which you were saying is regular, ordinary, or normal in an adversarial proceeding. Congresswoman Jinky, I know that there was a lot that was discussed and obviously two opposing teams, hindi ho ba? But one thing I wanted to find out was that when there were evidence, marking of evidence, and stipulation of facts, did it come out over and over again, if it did, that the defense is still claiming there is a petition before the Supreme Court that does not recognize what happened during the House Justice Committee that you headed? Did that come out a number of times during the conference, pre-trial conference yesterday?
Actually, Pinky, wala namang masyadong discussion on that because as a matter of fact, even assuming na may mga ganyang manifestation, that is not proper during the pre-trial conference, no? As a matter of fact, kagaya ng nasabi mo, submitted na itong issues na to sa Supreme Court, premature siyang i-discuss during PTC, and even if you try to raise it during the trial proper, hindi pa rin pwede. Because that is a constitutional question that belongs exclusively to the Supreme Court. And we have to understand that the Senate is not an appellate court of the House. Whatever happened in the House is within the exclusive jurisdiction of the House.
Let me rephrase the question then. During the stipulation of facts, during the submission of the names of witnesses, was there a time there that the defense would say that hindi kami papayag dyan, that's something we're opposing because of the mere fact that we did not recognize there was an abuse during the House Justice Committee hearing on the impeachment case against Vice President Sara Duterte? I was just thinking about that, kung lumalabas po yung ganon dahil nga hindi nila kinilala yung nangyari doon sa House Justice Committee.
Without dwelling into the details of what happened during the PTC, because I hope you understand we're bound by the prohibition already, but that issue is not a proper subject of the PTC or pre-trial conference, no? Sapagkat strictly, dapat ang ating discussion during PTC are only with respect to the agenda mentioned in the notice. And even assuming that we will be going beyond the agenda. It is premature to discuss issues like that. At sabi ko nga kanina, kahit payata erase mo yun during the trial, hindi pa rin proper because that is a constitutional issue na dapat Supreme Court ang nagre-resolve. It is beyond the jurisdiction of the impeachment court.
Moving forward, the 16 senators needed to convict. Of course, this is being talked about and being discussed. We understand what is written in the Constitution, that 2/3 of all the members of the Senate will be needed to convict. So if that is 24, that gives a number of 16. But of course, Senator Bato is in hiding. Senator Jinggoy is suspended for 90 days. Lagay po muna natin silang dalawa. They're not around. But the Constitution says 2/3 of all members. It's a question I had asked earlier already. But in practical terms, when the Constitution says 2/3 of all members of the Senate, does it mean 2/3 of all members of the Senate participating, present, around, or otherwise?
Well, that is why, Pinky, the doctrine in the Avellino versus Cuenco case is very much significant, no? Sapagkat dito sa kasong ito, although this is quite old, 1949, mas nauna pa kaysa sa doon sa 1987 Constitution. Maliwanag na ang pronouncement ay only those senators who are within the coercive power of the institution will be counted for the purpose of determining the baseline. But I would like to add something to that, Pinky, no? Ito ang palagi kong tanong, why do we have senators? It is for the purpose of representing the interest of the Filipino people, not only during legislative sessions, but also during impeachment trial, no? Representative sila ng taong bayan. In the same way that the members of the House are representative also of our beloved countrymen. Now the question is, if our senator is detained, if our senator is in hiding, are they truly representing the interests of the people? I think the answer is no. And having said that, I am aligned, I agree to the doctrine in Avellino versus Cuenco na dapat ang kino-consider lang in counting the baseline are those within the coercive power of the institution. Having said so, in our instant case, the baseline should be 22 and 2/3 must be taken from 22. Thirdly, Pinky, no, if we will analyze the verbatim provision of the Constitution, they said 2/3 of all the members of the Senate when they could have used 24 of the Senate. Because 1987 Constitution, bicameral na tayo, 24 na ang senators, they could have said 2/3 of 24 if that was the intention. So for me, the reason why the word all was used is to give latitude to the members of the legislative in interpreting depending on the demands of the circumstances, no? Sabi ko, the law must be evolving so that it could respond to the demands of the present time. Kasi, if you will interpret it strictly, it will not serve its purpose in resolving the issues that the country are encountering, no? The law is evolving, the Constitution is evolving, and therefore, it must be interpreted in such a way that it will be able to respond, to resolve the issues of the present time.
Congresswoman, senator judges are supposed to be around to be able to fulfill their mandate as senator judges, being, well, obviously part of the Senate because that is their other constitutional duty aside from legislative work. I guess what I want to find out is how can one fairly, accurately decide on acquitting or confirming the impeachment if you're just simply not around, if you're not in court?
Well, I agree with you, no? it is really significant, highly necessary na present yung senator judge. It is important that he should witness not only the giving of testimony, but also the demeanor of these witnesses, because that is material in resolving whether the witness is telling the truth or otherwise, no? And in addition to that, Pinky, constitutional duty ito eh. And that is why they really need to be present.
Was it discussed during the pretrial conference?
Well, it was not discussed, no? And I think even if we raise it during the Senate or the trial before the impeachment court, mukhang napakahirap i-resolve nito.
Yeah.
Similar to the issue on, di ba, kaya tayo nahihirapang i-address yung issue ng leadership eh. It's because when we talk about numbers, when we talk about quorum, when we talk about threshold, talagang politicize ang discussion, no? And that is why I wish to give recognition also to the contrary view. Yung pong nasabi ko kanina ay personal opinion ko lang.
Okay.
It does not reflect the opinion or the position of the prosecution.
All right.
That is my personal position only.
Let's talk about the submission of names of witnesses. Congresswoman, how many witnesses are there for the prosecution, and how many witnesses are there for the defense? And let me follow up already, if you don't mind. Are surprise witnesses allowed? Go ahead, ma'am.
Well, as to the number, let me make reference to the prior pronouncement ko, no? I said before that it's 57. As to the actual numbers that we have, during the pre-trial conference, I cannot divulge that anymore. We are bound by the prohibition. And then about the surprise witness. About the surprise witness, it is not actually surprise in the sense that you're supposed to make a reservation, no? Kung hindi mo yan ma-reserve, then you cannot present him as well during the trial. Ang sabi sa rules, as a general rule, dapat lahat ng witnesses naka-indicate na doon sa pre-trial brief, including the documents or exhibits. No? If you don't disclose them in the pre-trial brief as a general rule, you cannot present them during the trial. However, there is an exception. Pagdating doon sa witness and there is an issue of safety and security, pwedeng reservation lang muna. And then you will just disclose it to the impeachment court 3 days before his presentation, no? Tapos isama ko na Pinky yun sa documents. Kung hindi pa available yung document or not yet within the knowledge of the parties, pwede din reservation lang muna. And within 3 days, not later than 3 days before presentation, doon mo pa lang i-disclose sa court during the trial.
In other words, Congresswoman, pwede. Pwede po ang surprise witness basta disclose 3 days before, and pwede din ang additional documents as long as disclosed 3 days before. Did I get that right, ma'am?
I don't consider that a surprise, Pinky, eh. Kasi as a matter of fact, there is a requirement na dapat i-reserve mo. Tapos, i-justify mo bakit hindi mo ma-disclose kung sino yan, di ba? So, I don't consider that as a surprise witness. Perhaps reserve witness ang more accurate term.
Reserve witnesses. And I guess that goes the same for the documents. Do you have these reserve witnesses, Congresswoman?
Well, I can confirm na meron ang prosecution, but we cannot, of course, disclose the names.
How many?
I cannot recall kung ilan, no? And I think I am no longer at liberty to disclose din kung ilan yung ating reservation.
Okay.
Basta what I am certain, meron tayong reservation for witnesses, mayroon din tayong reservation for documents.
I see. All right. Regarding documents, though, now that you were talking about it, wasn't it Congressman Terry Redon who also said that you have additional evidence or that you may bring out regarding the issue of supposed guns that the Vice President and Attorney Manscarpio supposedly have, numbering, if I'm not mistaken, 5050, that were supposedly not included in the SALN? Is this something you can confirm, Congresswoman Jinky?
I'm afraid, Pinky, that dwells into the merits of the case already, no? And I'm not at liberty anymore since nag-start ng PTC to confirm the prior pronouncement of Congressman Terry Redon. But the list I can share to our kababayan is lahat po ng ebidensya, including reservations, ay nasubmit na po ng prosecution sa ating impeachment court.
Is it true, though, that, I don't know if this is something you can also respond to, that you have a witness that will corroborate Ramil Madriaga's testimony?
Well, the list I can say, Pinky, submitted na rin po lahat ng names ng witnesses, including our reservations for those whose names or identity are not yet disclosed. Let me just explain to the public, no, maliwanag po sa rules, na may prohibition po ang prosecution, ang defense, ang senator judges, and even witnesses from commenting on the merits. At ito pong ating pinag-uusapan patungkol sa witnesses and even on the pieces of evidence are part of the merits of the case, no?
In terms of trial dates, what can you share about that? How are you foreseeing how long the duration of the trial would be?
Ang sabi ko nung una, Pinky, no, when I was asked, I think it will last until September. Pero tingin ko hindi kakayanin eh. Siguro October or November, but depending pa rin sa discretion ng court. Because it will be the impeachment court who will decide as to the number of trial dates which will be given to the prosecution and the number of trial dates which will be given to the defense, no? So, ang nafo-foresee ko, Pinky, ay perhaps we need to decide kung sino talaga ang witnesses na ating i-represent to be able to contain ourselves, the prosecution, with respect to the number of days that will be given to us.
Congresswoman, you said it's up to the impeachment court to give the trial dates for the prosecution and the defense. Are we supposed to be expecting an even number that is given to the prosecution and that is given to the defense?
Well, I cannot comment to that, no? Kasi I don't know really if it will be exact or equal number of trial dates, or are they going to make it proportionate to the amount of evidence to be presented? It really falls within the exclusive judgment of the impeachment court. Siguro let's wait and see kung anong magiging pronouncement ng impeachment court on this.
But July 6 certainly confirmed there will be no other date to start the trial but July 6. I guess the question is, pwede pa hubang magbago itong July 6?
I think we are certain already about July 6 kasi marami ng pronouncements ang ating Senate President about starting on July 6 for the presentation of evidence or trial proper, no? And even during PTC, bagaman this is not part of our formal proceedings on PTC, it was mentioned in passing also by the clerk of court that July 6 will be the start of the trial. So for us, we are settled already on July 6 that the presentation of evidence will commence.
Can you give us a glimpse on what we can expect on the first day of the trial on July 6?
Well, what I understand based on the past impeachment processes, no? Past impeachment trial, nagkakaroon ng opening statement ang both parties, prosecution first and then the defense, tapos nagkakaroon ng mga preliminary discussions, sometimes including constitutional questions, sometimes including procedural questions, depending on which will be allowed by the presiding officer, no? And after that, we should proceed na in the presentation of evidence. Sa ilalim naman ng ating rules, maliwanag, mauna yung prosecution, after ng direct examination, ikro-cross yan ng defense, no? And after the conclusion of the presentation of evidence of the prosecution, defense naman ang maglalatag ng ebidensya, no? So, ang ating articles of impeachment ay divided into 4 articles, no? So, what I want to share to the public, the order of presentation in the articles of impeachment will not necessarily be the order of our presentation during the trial. We are still deciding on that. kung alin yung uunahin namin, alin yung isusunod, pangatlo at panghuli, no? Because it falls within our exclusive judgment also na i-decide kung alin ang uunahin among the 4 articles. So, this order of presentation should be submitted also to the clerk of court so that it will become part of the pre-trial order. At pag pumasok na siya sa pre-trial order, we're bound to follow
I
that
see.
during the trial proper.
And strategically, of course, amongst yourselves, you're going to have to think which article of impeachment should be first, should be second, should be third, and should be fourth. Whether whichever article would be the strongest, kung dapat bang unahin nyo yun, igitna nyo yun, or yun po. So that has not been decided upon by the panel of prosecutors. All